This segment is Continental Tire for what you do, which we have every week when it's a story that we think needs to be told a little bit more than the other stories out there, like, say, Grayson Allen tripping people. Ernie Johnson spoke so eloquently at Craig Sager's memorial just a couple of days ago.
The man that we reflect upon this day was just a treasure. The number of folks who he inspired, there's just no way to measure. At the ESPYs, when they got that honor name for Jimmy V, in a room of marquee players, Craig's the guy they came to see. He delivered the most eloquent and heartfelt speech that night. He displayed that in our darkest times, one man can be a light. The line we'll all remember, cut through sorrow like a knife. Time, Craig said with passion, is simply how you live your life. And so amid the tears and all the memories we cherish now, we say farewell to our friend Segs and make this humble vow. There's no way to gauge the days we have, no way to know how long, but know this, Craig, will do our best to live 'em Sager strong.
Ernie Johnson here on the Rich Eisen Show. How in the world did you get through that, Ernie?
Don't ask me. You know what? It was that was one of those. It was just a tough day, Rich. You remember going through that with Stu.
Yeah.
You just have so many memories and so many shared experiences, and you know what the man meant to the entire company, and you're just trying to honor him and just trying to just tell his story. And that's one of the things that I've done at Turner for years is I love writing poems for stuff, and I know John Wooden was big into that, and Pete Van Wieren, who used to work with my dad years ago, would craft these things every now and then for events, and I just started doing that for like Turner meetings and that kind of thing, and the NBA Legends brunch, and I started working on it on Thursday night when we got the news on Craig, and just tried to encapsulate what we knew of him and what he meant to us in that. And it was not the easiest thing to read, but it was. But I just think it was just it was just what I felt compelled to do.
Yeah, and when you mentioned Stewart, I mean, at his private memorial, I don't know if I'm telling any tales out of school, just the people who showed up, it shows the measure of the man. Michael Jordan was there. Larry Fitzgerald showed up, flew across the country. And I couldn't help but notice Greg Popovich flew in on a game day to be there.
Yeah, they're playing. San Antonio's playing Houston that night, and here he is at it was a 90-minute service, so it's probably it's like 1:45, and he's got a game in 7 hours. So, but that's what it meant. And he and there was no fanfare when he showed up. I had to go hunt him out. I said, somebody told me Pop was here, and then he was we looked in the church and looked way up in the top right area, and he was sitting there with Kevin McHale was there, and a lot of obviously a load of Turner folks, and it speaks volumes to the man. Randy Whitman was there, his old buddy, and his guy who they owned that Jocks and Jills chain, and along with Doc Rivers and John Battle back in the day, and we saw a lot of faces, and it was it was a tough day, but it was also it's just made you appreciate what you had with Craig.
Yeah, I mean, it was billed as a service of celebration, and I loved how Steve Kerr, instead of having a moment of silence, he had a moment of applause. I loved it with the Knicks and the Warriors behind him, and I mean, that was just terrific. And when was the first time you met Craig? I mean, because you go way back in Turner Sports as well. When was the first time that you ever came across Craig Sager?
He was working at CNN at the time, and I was at the local station in Atlanta, WSB. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I was working local sports, and he was on CNN and then TBS, and so our paths would cross at various games and that kind of thing. And but I remember, and they crank this video out on me every now and then in a slam dunk contest for the media. back in the mid '80s, and I've got these really bad short shorts on, and I miss a dunk, and we're on an 8-foot goal, and the guy who won that was Craig Sager. He won the slam dunk contest that night, and he was wearing shorts worse than mine. He had these like candy stripe, really short shorts, and he won the thing because he tore the goal down with one dunk. So, so I knew of Craig back then, and we'd see each other, and then we shared an office for about 3 years at the CNN Center when I came down to Turner, and Craig and Paul Ryden and I were in there, and you just got to know him then, and then he was actually the studio host for the first year of TNT. I had been hired and was sitting out a 6-month no compete clause that the Atlanta station held me to, and so I would do a couple of stories here and there, but Craig was the guy in the chair. And then the following year, what he really loved to do was be on the sidelines, and he got the chance to do that. And I moved into the studio chair for the 90-91 season, and that's where we remained ever since.
Ernie Johnson here on the Rich Eisen Show. And tonight, I guess Shaq's getting his number retired by Miami as part of the double header on TNT. And we noticed, I know he won a championship there, but just 3.5 years he's getting his number retired right there, Shaq. Is there a limit, do you think, on the number of years one needs to play in order to get your number retired?
Nah, I don't think so. I just, I think it's all impact, and I think,
sure,
when you win a championship, it'd be different to me, Rich, if you said, hey, a guy played here for a year and everybody thought he was great, so let's retire his jersey. I could see that. But no, when you help bring a championship to a place that was desperate for one, then sure, and I just, Shaq's one of those bigger than life characters, and it was a huge move to get him there. So yeah, I think all the franchises that have had Shaq, would probably like to honor him somehow. You don't see him, in anything going on in Boston. They're not going to retire his number in Boston and that kind of thing. So, this is, and Shaq,
that would be great.
Admit that. So no, we're all good, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. That'll be a good one. And then obviously San Antonio and Houston. Is it safe to call Houston the biggest surprise? San Antonio Clippers. You guys, San Antonio Clippers in the second game. I brought up Houston just because. Would you be safe to say that they're the surprise of this season so far?
Yeah, I think so. And I think watching what James Harden has done has been pretty amazing. And I just think he's this is a team that does two things, Rich. They shoot layups and threes. That's what they do. If you're ever going to sit down and watch a Rockets game, just make your own shot chart at home and see how many circles there are outside the arc and how many there are in the paint and how few there are anywhere else. That's what the team does, and they've kind of built themselves that way. Ryan Anderson, Trevor Ariza can hurt you from out there. Eric Gordon has played well. Clint Capella, before he got hurt, was helping him inside, and so he's a guy who it's layups or threes, and it's little alley oops from Harden to Capella, and so no, I think that has been as surprising a story as any have been, and not surprising to see Mike D'Antoni kind of with a little bit different approach, but like him, it's an up tempo thing where, hey, try to keep up with us. That's what he's saying.
And then before I let you go, I know this isn't a professional basketball story, but the Grayson Allen tripping incidents, now the third one. What is your take on this whole, reaction as well as to the suspension that was handed down?
We're and again we do have the college hoops because we have March Madness with the folks at CBS. So we're watching the game like a lot of folks are, but. Yeah, I think it becomes a thing, when you see it more than a time or two, and you see it again. It's almost, I don't know if it's something that he can't control when he does it. I don't know if it's a mean-spirited thing or if it's just like one of these instinctual kind of somebody gets by you. I don't know if he's always done that. I don't know if it's a Draymond Green syndrome. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know that Coach K had to do something. You've got to sit him down. You got to see, is there something here that we need to investigate? And because people are saying, well, look, nobody's getting hurt. Well, next time somebody might, because basically when you do that, you're taking somebody out when they're least expecting it. And so, yeah, you've got to do something about that. I mean, I wish I had the answer to why it's happening, but a lot of times when I look at things that leagues take issue with or feel like you have to lay the law down, it's like, would you want everybody in your game to be doing this? No. And so now you've got to do something about it.
Before I let you go, last one for you. I've got Adam Schefter coming up in the next hour. I don't know if you heard.
Or he's a noted NBA reporter.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have any advice for Adam as he's now dipping his toe in the association starting shortly?
No, I mean, what advice could I possibly give a reporter with those credentials? I'm not going to do that. He's Adam's as good as they come. I will think that there may be a time or two where he will be extended in the right arm, raising the microphone to some of these guys. He may be in for a rude awakening should DeAndre Jordan have a big game or Hassan Whiteside have a big game. I would think that maybe he would be rooting for, hey, let's interview Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm. So you're going where I think you're going, which is ESPN should get an Apple box or two ready for Adam.
No, I didn't say it. Hold on, Rich, did I say that? I did not.
No.
I would just think maybe some plyometric exercises, something like that, in anticipation for it. But seriously, he's going to be awesome. He's great at everything he does, and every time I watch him, I'm like, wow, how does this guy know all this? And so I'm sure he'll pour that same enthusiasm and work ethic into doing the NBA. So I can't wait to see him. It's going to be great.
Ernie, take care again. Thanks for coming on, and great words that you delivered.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays.
Same.
Rich, you're a good man. They just don't get any better. I really appreciate you having me.
Thank you. Same to you. Thanks.
All right,
thanks, Ernie.
good.
Same to you. You bet. That's Ernie Johnson.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.